There's no such thing as a happy dad. I think the idea of a happy dad is a fallacy. I think that there's happy grandfathers because then you've got a generation buffer. But I'm a big believer that the struggles that a dad faces in terms of protection, paying the bills, making sure everybody's good, just monitoring your children and your spouse's well-being on a daily, second to second basis. I think that the idea and concept of a happy dad is a fallacy.
There's a lot of dads who were raised in what I call single mom America who believe that fallacy of like, there's balance to your life. You got to be work and play. You got to be happy. And I have never met a happy dad whose kids are excellent in my life. When I was mediocre, I was happy. When I wasn't doing my when I wasn't putting in the work, when I wasn't trying to impress my kids, teach them new things, I was happy as hell.
What's going on, guys? So I just want you to let me know, anyone out there, is there such thing as a happy dad? And if you are a happy dad, then come forward, write in the comments what makes you happy about being a dad, and how does one, for those dads that don't believe there's such thing as a happy dad, how does one achieve that? Now, for me, I understand where this comes from, because as men, we're taught that we have to be the man of the house, which makes us responsible for how the house is run, makes us responsible for our wives, makes us responsible for our kids. Yeah? That pressure alone is a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot to balance. You're battling a woman's emotions, you're battling trying to be a good husband, you're battling trying to be a good father, you're battling trying to direct your kids in the right way, and whatever they go through, you go through. There's more pressure, there's more worry, because everyone in that house represents you. You know what I mean? No one really looks at the woman as a failure if her house isn't run well. But when it's a man, all fingers go pointing at you. So you have that pressure. And also you have to make sacrifices. If you're a good man or you're trying to be a good husband and good father, you have to make loads of sacrifices. Sometimes you have to be the parent that is hated, because men are more likely going to correct the children when they're naughty. Men are likely going to be the disciplinary. That age-old saying of, I'm going to tell your father what will your father say about this. It's usually down to the man. So you've got to deal with all of that and actually still show up for yourself, because showing up for yourself means you show up for your family too. And what I mean by that is taking care of yourself, earning good money, working, upskilling, all of these things, all that pressure. And because of the way the world is now, it's very hard to do all of that and even feel content, or even better yet, succeed. It's difficult. So when they said this, I really understood why they would say there's no such thing as a happy dad. And you've got that saying, happy wife, happy life. So your happiness, in other words, what they're trying to say is based on your wife's happiness. And I guess that filters down to the kids, because if the kids are not happy, the wife's not going to be happy. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. And it is our responsibility, So, yeah. But anyone who's clocked the game, write in the comments and let me know what makes you a happy dad. I think happiness comes from within, and you probably would have to be content, and you would probably to really, because what I'm describing is like a hamster wheel. there's always going to be something that comes up. Always going to be something challenging. Yeah, there's always going to be something to potentially stress you if you let it. But I think if you choose to look at the little things and the basic things of life, is your families, everyone in your household alive? That's one thing to be happy about. Do you have shelter? That's another thing to be happy about. Do you know what I mean? Is everyone fed? That's another thing to be happy about. But as men, we move the goalposts for ourselves because sometimes we compare outside. If you're like me, you probably have drive and you want to be in a different place. So you forget to look at what's around you. Do you know what I mean? Do you have a loving home? That's something to be happy about. A lot of men battle with this because, you know, a lot of in a lot of situations they're struggling to get on with their wives, and I speak about this kind of thing a lot. But yeah, so that can challenge your happiness, but still you have to find the happiness. You know what I'm saying? There's always something, I think, to be happy about as long as you're breathing on this earth. And even if you have to focus on just that one thing that brings happiness, yeah, even if it's music, let's say. For me, music makes me happy, so I'm using that as an example. Right. I remember seeing a video one time of um someone, an old person, who was in a care home and he didn't speak, he didn't communicate, he didn't do anything, he just sat in a chair. The moment they brought music and headphones to him, he started moving and dancing and enjoying it so much. Everyone was so surprised. So that's evidence of something, at least that one thing that made someone happy. So I do believe it can be achieved, but I can understand when people say dads are not happy because it's not easy.
God doesn't give you a spouse because they're perfect for you. He gives you a spouse because their purpose is for you. So what does that mean? It means that your spouse is designed in such a way that they complement you so that you can fulfill your purpose together. This is why Jesus spoke about God joining a man and a woman together in marriage. The idea of joining two things together means that they fit one another in a complementary way. The problem is sometimes the things that make us a good fit for one another can sometimes make us feel like we're incompatible with one another. As a matter of fact, so many couples list incompatibility as a reason that they're filing for divorce. And what they're saying is that their spouse is not like them. But that was never God's idea. God said that he would make someone who was a helper suitable. And the Hebrew word actually means that they're designed in a way that is opposite of you to some degree, but enables you to fulfill the purpose that God has for you. And I'm convinced that couples will not struggle as much in marriage if they begin to see their differences as a complement and the key to unlocking God's bigger plan and his purpose for their lives.
God wants two completely crazy people to be completely committed to one another's trophies, traumas, and triggers, no matter what. It's going to be complicated. It says wholeness is a unity that encompasses completeness and distinctiveness individually, while bonding husband and wife through the covenant of marriage as they pursue God's purpose together. You cannot get whole by yourself. It's impossible. You need community. It's someone else's faith sometimes that gets me to a greater future.
In life, we have to find beauty in imperfection. And these two videos, the word hit me. In relationships in this day and age and marriages, we promote the breakup, we promote the divorce. And what do we say? Oh, I don't think we're compatible. Oh, that person's crazy. Oh, she was good at the beginning, or he was good at first, and then he turned mad, and then, All of these things, we start throwing blames and we start finding excuses as to why we can't be together, or maybe we should break up, you know? But the actual thing is, yeah, let me tell you one thing right now. No one in this life that enters a long-term relationship, yeah, or a marriage is going to remain the same. Yeah, it's impossible. I don't care if you've got the best person on this earth. No one is going to stay the same. It's impossible. Yeah, because life is life. My son's got a saying, yeah. My older son, he's got a saying that I like sometimes. Whenever there's a situation he can't control, he says, life is life. Because that's what it is. Life is life. Meaning that that's something we can't control. We can't control the course of life. So we're going to face scenarios and situations that will test our relationships and test our marriages and stuff. And what are we going to do? Allow it to break us? Because maybe in this season we've changed. Maybe in this season we're a bit angrier. Maybe in this season we're a bit more defensive. Maybe in this season we're a bit more subdued. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Don't matter what it is. But the fact still remains. Yeah. You still got a relationship to deal with and you still got to work through it. And if you just give up like that, you will never find someone that will match what you're looking for. They might fool you and do it at the beginning, yeah, but long term, it won't be the same. Now, what I got from this message, yeah, is that we're not meant to be the same as our partner. There's this whole thing about opposites attract, and it means more than what you think. And when you really deep it, you'll realize that when God brought Adam Eve, right, when he presented Eve to Adam, his words were basically that this will be your helpmate. Yeah? No man should be alone. This is your helpmate. Yeah? So, how can someone really help you? Think about this. If you can basically do everything, yeah, and if they're very similar to you, how can that person really be of help to you? Usually, it should be the shortcomings that they will be able to help with the most. It will be what they can bring to the table that maybe you can't bring, or something they can do you can't do, or maybe you're slacking or they're slacking, and they need someone like you in their life. See, we're all part of this thing called the body of Christ. That's what we Christians believe. But at the same time, yeah, if you think about what makes the world go round, it's team effort, it's working together. Yeah. No man is an island. You can't just be on your own. And this is not me encouraging people to get into relationships. This could even be a message for friendships and working in a team and just collaboration in general. The bottom line is, yeah, we all bring something different to the table. We're all different, and some of us need help. Some of us um, could help someone. I believe in what they call destiny helpers. Some people are sent to you in life to help you to get closer to your destiny. Yeah. So therefore, it doesn't necessarily mean that because you get with someone that you have to be alike, or there can't be issues, or they can't be crazy. Yeah. You just have to learn to adapt to the situation and understand what this truly is. Your partner is your helpmate. Your partner is meant to make you whole. Without a partner or without someone to work with, you're only half. Yeah, you can only do so much as yourself. You can only do so much by yourself in this world. It's better to see yourself as half. Yes, it's good to be wholesome, and yes, you are whole in a way. But what will make you better? What will complete you? Because trust me, you haven't got all the minerals by yourself. Yeah. That's why even when we go and work for companies and we have jobs and all of this. That's why they employ people, because no business stands alone. They need people to make it work. We're all here with different set of skills to make things work. So when we are going through issues in relationships and marriages, we need to start thinking about, what's the real purpose of this? Why did God bring this person into my life? What am I meant to do in this world, yeah, that this person is needed with me? And what qualities have they brought or do they bring? And if I can't see it, why am I missing it? Am I shutting something out? Am I ignoring something? We have to really seek ourselves and really analyze the person that we're with and think about the positives and why we're great together. And then maybe you'll realize that a divorce or breakup is not needed. Obviously, you've got your obvious reasons why you can have a divorce or a breakup: infidelity, abuse, anything that's wild that affects your safety. Do you know what I mean? But if it's just because you're not seeing eye to eye, or maybe this person doesn't do this, they're not doing their duty, then maybe you just got to go seek therapy and actually seek within and seek how you can improve the situation, as well as try and solve the problem. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Women cheat more than men?
Far more.
Come on.
Far, far more. Because they're in denial about the infidelity. When they cheat, they don't even label it as that.
What are they labeled as?
They label it as, my husband's no longer satisfying me. They won't even say I'm cheating. They find a way to redirect and shift the terminology so that they are void of guilt.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Word on the street is women cheat more than men. You know what? I've always said this, and the reason why I believe it is because with the way the world is, media and everything we see, there's an emphasis on men are cheaters. We hear about it more. You know, the truth is, I think women are just better cheaters, men are bad cheaters. Men don't really cover up their tracks well and are very loose with it, in the sense that they will act on impulse, yeah? Whereas women know how to hide it better, and most times they're more invested in the affair or the situation. And usually they actually have a reason as to why they're doing it, or they tell themselves a reason. And that actually helps them feel less guilt, just as this lady said. And think about it, right? A lot of women complain about men nowadays. Yeah, they're very vocal about it. When they keep complaining, they kind of trick themselves into believing that the person they're with is bad. Even if they haven't done anything really bad, maybe they're just going through something or not showing up as much, or maybe they've changed a bit. And they can convince themselves to cheat. And if you really deep it, let's really look at it, right? Women get they get approached more than men on a day-to-day basis. Even ugly girls. Men are constantly on the chase. Yeah? So they naturally just have more options. If you compare a man's dating app and a woman's dating app in terms of the matches, who they match with, you'll find that a lot more women succeed than men, which means women have more access to men than women. No, women have more access to men than men have access to girls. Meaning, even if they are rejecting a lot of men, they have to deal with a lot of interactions, even if it's to say no. So if a woman's not happy at home, she's gonna fall into the hands of someone if she's not careful. Do you know what I mean? If she's not careful. I'm not saying not all women cheat, but what I'm saying is that I feel that it's easier for a woman to cheat than a man. And that's why I think there's a lot of secret women cheaters out there. And yeah, that's why I agree. I agree with this statement. So it's crazy. All I can say is that treat your woman right. And women, y'all need to stop that. Yeah? Y'all need to stop that. Do you know what? Everyone shouldn't cheat. Like, cheating's bad, man. It can mess up families. It can mess up a lot. So yeah, it's not a good thing. But yeah, agree with that statement.